long week, and finally it's the weekend and the sun is shining. Not for long, I hear, which is unfortunate because I've got a lot of jobs to do, and this morning, which is meant to be the best of the sunshine, I'm going to a Macmillan coffee morning, which I have on good authority. There will be plants for sale. So we're going to head down there first now that Dory's had her walk. She had a nice walk with Lottie. You can see how Lottie, who is Dory's cousin, is growing up fast now. So I think I've just got time before the coffee morning to put together perhaps some packets of hollyhock seed that can be sold. So I'm going to do that, head over there, and then hopefully there'll still be some sunshine left because I've got things to get in the ground, loads of tidying to do. The plot needs a real good going over. I want to really spend the whole weekend doing it, but I know if it's raining that'll be an excuse not to. I'm pretty tired from the first week of term as well, but yeah, we'll see what the weekend brings. A proper hello now, and a welcome to the garden. I'm in just modelling my new jumper from the coffee morning, couldn't resist. But I will go and change it because we're going to do some jobs. But first, I thought I would show you some of the things that I got from the Malvern Autumn Show last week, and some of the things that I got for my birthday as well. And the first thing I wanted to show you was that I got the book, the Pippa Chapman Backyard Forest Gardening book, that I'd said earlier in this series, I don't have a series, in a previous episode, that I wanted. So thank you to Liam for that. And he also got me this book, To Stand and Stare, How to Garden with Doing Next to Nothing, which sounds pretty appealing now at the sort of end of the season. Other things I got, it's really pretty watering can from my sister, and some seed balls, and from my mom. Check out that. How unusual is that succulent? It's so beautiful and in a lovely pot. It's called Senecio Mont Blanc. Senecio? But yeah, stunner. So that's an indoor plant obviously, and it likes bright light, so it will go in the window. And then my aunt got me the best bug hotel. How cool is that? So I have not decided yet whether it's going to go in the garden or on the allotment. And then at well, this was last week at the garden centre, my mum got me, look at that, I call it the Himalayan honeysuckle, but I get that mixed up with Himalayan balsam, so I'm going to call it pheasant berry from now on, which is another one of its common names. It's also called chocolate berry. Its actual name is Leicesteria formosa, and this variety is called Purple Rain. But this is the one that you may remember seeing me eat the berries from in the park that time. So you need to pick the super dark squidgy berries. So there's one, and another one, and they basically they just squidge in your hand, or you should pick them off, and then they taste like burnt toffee. Perfect little berry for autumn. They can grow quite large. Not really sure where I'm putting it, but oh god, I love it. I'm going to put that in a bucket of water, and then we're going to find somewhere to plant that. Now the Malvern show, I got a whole selection of echinaceas. So we waited till the sell-off at the very end, and then all these echinaceas were £1, and I got the one green twister, which has been on my list for ages, so I'm super pleased with that. So I got a couple of those, and then some different echinaceas. And then I also got this astrantia called Moulin Rouge. There you go. And my neighbour, she also brought me around some astrantia, some bare roots from her garden that she'd dug up because she knew I wanted some. And she also brought me a gaura. So I'm not sure what... white, I think she said it was called the wedding cake or something, gaura. So it's white flower with a little fleck in it, but I haven't got a gaura, haven't got any astrantia, so I'm super pleased to be able to add those to the garden. Right, I've popped all those into water so they can have a good drink, and then I'm going to find places to put them and do some planting. But while I'm waiting for them to soak up the water, I do have some inside jobs to do, and actually it's starting to rain a little bit. I brought home from Liam's his houseplants. I say his, these are all my houseplants that live at Liam's. This one is the dragon tree. He's got an aloe vera, which has got so many babies, and this is the one he didn't want me to bring home. There's a wandering sailor that has... That's why he didn't want me to bring it home. Whoops. But these are so delicate. So this is a baby from one of mine, and this is what happens. They just, yeah, they very easily snap. But you can root this. It roots super easy. So I'm going to take some babies off of it and root those. I better stick that one in some water. But they all need repotting. They're all massively outgrowing their pots. Oh my god. Yeah, I can see why he didn't want me to bring them home. Anyway, I took them secretly while he's away, and I'm going to repot them all and take them back and yeah, see if he notices. He may notice that his aloe vera will have very much shrank in size. Anyway, let's have a go at these, get these repotted, and then we'll start on the outdoor plants. Now, the soil in this is sopping, so he's definitely been overwatering it. I don't know how he gets away with it, because as soon as I do anything too harsh to my aloe veras, that's it, they give it up. But yeah, he's been lucky to keep this alive, really. So let's try and divide these up a bit. They generally should, well, like that one, kind of detach themselves. There we go, there's a couple. There were a few of these for sale at the Macmillan. I didn't buy any plants there because Most of the plants that were for sale my auntie and mum had done from cuttings from my houseplants anyway. So there was nothing really new for me to buy. But a few people looked at the aloe vera and they were like, no, I've got loads of those at home, because they do just throw out babies left, right and centre once they're happy and established. Which I think this one has obviously been in the past, but has just recently, I think, been overwatered. So we have quite a few new plants here. Not quite sure where they're all going to live. Right, so we've got one mama plant that I'll repot and give back to Liam. Then we've got 3 junior plants, I would say. There we go, good size. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 babies and 2 little newborns. Oh, 3 little newborns. Yeah, that's a lot of aloe veras to know what to do with. Right, well then what they're going to need is a super gritty soil. So I did the dragon tree in a pretty, do you call it a dragon tree? I do. Dragon plant. I did that in a pretty gritty soil, so compost, grit and perlite. But these, I think I might put in some, I wonder if some of my leaf mould is ready. Probably not, but shall we go and have a look? As I step out of the greenhouse, I'm greeted with this chrysanthemum. Oh, look at it. Gorgeous, gorgeous, and so many heads to come. Really pleased with that. Little David Austin rose still going, and these gladioli, I'll show you one over here. That's what they look like. How stunning are they? Absolutely beautiful. I put those bulbs in late. They've come on up. You can see as we walk down here what a jungle everything has become. And these nasturtiums still going strong. I'm absolutely loving the amaranth, particularly this biscuit one. Look at the colour of it. It's just gorgeous. We got the love slides bleeding, and then the other one, I can't remember what this one's called, but it has a gorgeous dark leaf. Right, keep going. Oh, I noticed I've got some little broccolis coming in there. Let's see if these ones can actually become broccolis. Oh, this is the sad story. The blight did get the Christmas potatoes. All the foliages died back pretty much. I did have a little root around. I think I saw, yeah, so there are potatoes in there, but I'm going to worry about those another day. Right. Oh, the Jerusalem artichokes, enormous that they are, have finally started flowering. This one that's fallen over, you can see the flower, so it's very like the everlasting sunflowers, but really pretty. But it did take an awfully long time to start to flower. Just empty greenhouses and empty wardrobe here. Oh, what's Dory doing? She scared me then. I don't know what that was. What are you doing? Let's see if we've got any blueberries. Yeah, they're still on there. These pink lemonade ones take a long time to... Oh, hang on, here's some. Oh, they're coming off. Really good, actually. I was kind of looking at them and thinking they need to be fully pink, but it seems they're pink with a little bit of white. Right, let's look in the leaf mould bin. Still looks quite leafy. In fact, it looks like some of this honeysuckle is growing up through it. Oh well, we might leave that then. What I found with the leaf mould last year was that it wasn't wet enough, it didn't have enough moisture to break down. So this year I had the top with the hole in, hoping that it would let the rain in and it would be all right, but perhaps not. Perhaps I think for this year, because I'm going to start collecting leaves any day, I'll use chicken wire to make funnels and put the leaves in there, and I'll do it on the allotment rather than in the garden. That's the plan. Oh yeah, look at this. So the brilliant thing about having wood chip in your garden is you get all these mushrooms and all this fungi is helping to support plant life. There are more around here, yeah, and there. I don't know what kind of mushrooms they are, but they are very welcome in my garden. You, my friend, are slightly less welcome, but I'd rather you be down there than on my plants. The beans are starting to turn now. Oh. So yeah, they're colouring up and starting to dry out. I don't want you munching on them, but so I'm not sure if these are Borlotti or Trail of Tears, Cherokee Trail of Tears. So we'll have to compare the bean when they're dried. This is the kind of damage that we don't want. This. Right, I got distracted there, didn't I? What we could use, orchid potting mix. So I think that's quite good. I'll mix some of that in and more grit. Yeah, Liam is one of these people who like completely neglects houseplants, and they seem to love him for it. And I bring these plants to his house and they just thrive. He's got this really nice, I don't even know what direction it faces in, but this windowsill that the plants just seem to love. So that's pretty gritty, and it's got the orchid bark in. It's also got perlite in, so I think that'll be all right. Okay. So the original pot is fine to put the mama in, because she'll have space again now. I'm just going to trim off these leaves at the bottom. There we go. That one's not looking too good. Get rid of that one. Okay. Pop her in. Make her upright. I am going to dress that with grit on top. That's what I always feel with the aloes, then they're really rocky. I'm not going to actually water that in because I think there's enough moisture in the compost for now. So there we go. Do you think Liam will notice? See, all my babies have gone. Right. Okay, how many did I say we've got? Right, 100 to go. Well, that seems utterly ridiculous. There's the mama and all its babies. Yeah, this makes me think that we should really just use the aloe vera. I tend to keep a leaf in the fridge so that if you get a burn or an insect sting or something like that, it's really lovely and cool when you apply it to the skin. So yeah, perhaps should make more use of it, and then won't get inundated with the babies and can keep a rolling succession of the plants. Okay. One plant left to go. Oh, and as we go into the greenhouse this time, look at the Chinese lanterns. I just love these so much. One's fallen off. Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why. But I love it right now while they're bright orange. Why are you trying to bite my fingers? And then when they go all lacy later in the year, then they're absolutely gorgeous. But love that plant. Actually, looking here, I need to separate these coleus and get those indoors sooner rather than later, I think. Dory. Because I lost them all last year, and if you bring them in, you can have them as a house plant over the winter. Right, last plant then. So I think it's going to be pretty impossible to do this without losing some more of the foliage. Again, this feels really heavy. He's been over watering it. Let's have a look and hope I just don't break it off at the very bottom and lose the whole thing. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's absolutely sopping. Liam. He's losing his touch. Right. I'm not quite sure what to do with this, because I'm going to end up losing the roots. Okay, let's try and take as much. Oh gosh. Oh, okay, there's a root. It's losing its little roots though. How is all this plant coming from this tiny root? Right, I'm taking all of that off. Oh dear, this could be dangerous. Luckily, this is a cutting from an original plant, my plant. So if this all goes pear-shaped, I'll just have to replace it with that one. And yeah, I think you might notice though, because it's about a fifth of the length. Right. Okay, let's get that in fresh soil. What I think I might do is take some cuttings from the bottom and try and root them in here, and that way, some of these crusty ones off, it'll start to fill out the pot a bit more rather than just having one spindly long plant. So find an end. Now not that end, because look, that's not looking very healthy on that end. In fact, I'm going to clip that, take that off. Okay, that looks better. Right, so I'm just going to clip that under a node, take those off. I am going to rooting powder it. There it goes. And where did my chopstick go? There we go. Stick that in. Okay, let's do a few like that. I'm going to just give that one a little water, because it's got the cuttings that need to root, and you can have a water and then we'll dress you with some grit. And there we go, job done. Oh, I'm pleased with that. It's been a job I've been meaning to do for a long time, so that's good. Right, in terms of talking about potting things on and propagating, check this out. So do you remember all the salvias that I did cuttings of, and I had them sort of planted round a terracotta pot, and well, they rooted. So I mean, look at the size of this one. Fabulous. So that's one of the Animo salvias, and I've got hot lips, amaranth lips, and a pink salvia as well. But yeah, really chuffed with all of those, and I would have taken some to the coffee morning to sell, but I've only just potted them on, and yeah, they're a bit fragile, and I didn't want to sell anything that might immediately die when someone got them home. Other things that are going well are these succulents, if you remember when we potted those on. So he just got repotted, he's fine. Those still seem to be kind of alive, and that one. But I was really chuffed with those. They took. That's the little nubbin of the mother-in-law plant, which doesn't seem to have done much. They seem okay though, but the ones that I'm really pleased with, oh, look at this, babies. Some over here and here. So some haven't got anything. I think they need a water now actually, but oh look, that one's got some coming as well. The only thing that hasn't done so well was the penstemon cuttings. They're still really small, there's no sign of new growth, but they're not dead, so I'm keeping them in the pot and we will hope for the best. Now in this pot is ginger, and you can see they're coming up. There's another one. So I put them all across the pot. Not really sure if it's the right time to do ginger, but I will move this indoors when it gets cold. And then let's have a look in here, because I haven't had a look in a while. Just kind of oh, it looks a bit wet. What have we got? That looks like a lettuce. Not sure why that's there. What's it supposed to be? Oh, these are supposed to be delphiniums, but yeah, look at all of those. Excellent. What's that one? That's a different delphinium. No, none of the hollyhock came up, but those were the ones I thought the mouse ate anyway. Is that a little delphinium as well? Oh, this is foxgloves in this one. Right. Well, they don't want to stay in that damp compost, so I think the next job, seeing as it's started raining, is to prick those out. Okay, let's do that. Well, I've made it to the plot. It's Sunday evening, really. I've had a bit of a lackluster day. Not really had much energy, so I've been in and out of the garden. I did get the echinaceas in, but it was a bit of a struggle because everything's, as I've been saying, everything's so wild. I don't know where the spaces are, and I want to get things in because now's a really good time while the soil is warm and the roots get a chance to develop before the cold, and then they establish ready for spring and you get earlier flowers. All of that is brilliant and I know it, but also everything else is still there and it's still flowering and it's still great, so I don't want to be ripping it out or clearing. So yeah, I feel a little bit frustrated, if I'm honest, and I've been kind of putting off coming down the plot because there's an awful lot that needs doing, but I'm here now. I was slightly disappointed when I first arrived because I found that. So a squirrel has had this one, I guess, although it doesn't look like there were very many kernels, that's the word, kernels on it anyway. Could be mine, could be Mark's. That will go into the compost heap. I was down here last night actually, just for half an hour with Mark and the family, and we just picked a few little bits for dinner. Two things I picked, but I had to leave here because I was also walking the dog, so I couldn't carry these around. Were two of the baked potato squash. These are the baked potato squash, but yeah, they look good. The reason that I harvest them was not because I wanted to eat them or that they're particularly ready, because you can see the stalks are still green. It was because they just fell off. So as I was kind of looking at them, lifting them slightly to put on things, in fact one was off already, so that's kind of been curing on the ground, I guess. But they are either, well, I could put them on the windowsill and see how they cure, but to be honest, I just want to eat them. So I think we'll do a bit more harvesting, and I brought the car down. I brought the car, walked Dory, I've come back because I had some rabbit poop in there, so I'm going to add that to the pile of it over here. And and I brought a load of brassicas, not necessarily because I could think I'm going to put them in tonight, but just to have them down here in readiness. Stop them just sitting at home staring at me saying, we have got far too big for ourselves, what are you going to do with us? So yes, I'm going to leave them down here so I don't have to look at them every day. It's barky malarkey. Oh, there we go. That was fun. In terms of a sort of short or quick job to do tonight, because I'm gonna give myself a power hour, we could clear the blighted tomatoes, which is probably a good thing to do. Yeah, let's put that on the list. Clear the blighted tomatoes. I think I've got a bag that I can put the stuff in to then take home and dispose of. And I think, look at that, the second earlies. The second earlies are still in the ground. My God, Dory. Whew, someone's been putting on a few pounds, haven't they? What do you mean it's just fluff? I don't think so. Yeah, let's get the second earlies out and clear that bed a bit, because I could put some brassicas in there. That might be being a little ambitious, but let's see how we get on, shall we? You're going to be quiet. Just going to lay down and relax, because you've had your dinner, you've had your walk. Now's your rest time at the allotment. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah. You never rest. Like a little baby. Little baby. So this is the tomato slash raspberry slash courgette bed, and you can see it is an absolute disaster. So here are all the blighted tomatoes. Here's the poor raspberries. That one's looking pretty good. It's full of weeds, even though I didn't weed that this long ago. Oh, that's nice though. There's a rhubarb, and there's another rhubarb. So they took. That's good. Oh, and some little raspberries over here. Let's go have a look at those. Have you been half eaten by bugs? Seems okay. Lovely. And the courgettes? Yes, still producing. Okay, you can stay. But yeah, all of that tomato disaster has to go. So that's job number one. Oh, the other thing I did today, as I was sort of going in and out of the garden, was some more cuttings, but I did this time Verbena bonariensis. I've been practicing bonariensis, and some lemon verbena as well. But I think I've tried lemon verbena in the past and not had much luck. Clearly now I've got cocky after the salvias, so we'll see if they take or not. Right, I'm going to get some gloves on. I'm just going to get to it. I'm going to do it. Right, come on. you think I have to pick up all of the tomatoes? I bet I do really, don't I? I mean, I've pulled up the roots. I guess it's in the soil, and I wouldn't plant tomatoes or potatoes here next year. Now I know that this area's had blight, but I suppose it's still a good thing to pick up all the tomatoes. Oh well, pick up tomatoes and weed as I go along, kind of. What I think I'll probably end up doing is covering most of this bed with cardboard anyway. I'm not going to plant into this one, I don't think. It's definitely a troublesome bed in terms of weeds coming over from across the neighbour. So I think this bed needs a bit of a rethink in readiness for next year. But I don't want to move the raspberries when they have actually established now. And I've also got the comfrey in here and the 2 rhubarb, so I'll have to cover without disturbing those. That's the plan. Okay, picking up tomatoes. Well, I'm not saying that's perfect, but it's made an indent. I'm not sure I can carry this bag, to be honest, but oh well. One of the good things about weeding is you do notice things. So tell me what this is. That looks like, I don't even know what that looks like. We'll plant net in and see if we can find out. So I saw that, and then there are quite a lot of wallflowers coming up. So I was trying to avoid pulling those up as I was doing the weeding, because eventually I'll either let them flower where they are, or if I do cover in cardboard, I can dig them up and put them elsewhere. And the phacelia is coming back. So it does self-seed, the phacelia, if you're using it as a cover crop. But it's so pretty and the pollinators love it. I'm all for it, and I'm going to be sprinkling it around everywhere not too long. Hi, Mr. Singh! You're always catching me videoing! Right, Dory, job 2 is your bed. So this had the peas in, which are well gone, and my idea was to leave them to dry so that I could collect seed for next year. So there's a pod. Let's see if that's worked. Oh, well, there we go. There's some seeds. Will they produce plants? Who knows? But we can keep it and give it a go. So I'll try not to just go in like a wrecking ball and see what I can salvage. What else is in here? So potatoes. Down here is the Saxon second earlies. Those were the Charlotte, which are all harvested now. Yes, they are, Dory. I did them for the horticultural show. So it's just the Saxon. Shh, 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 shh. Sit. Good girl. Stop barking. Good girl. We've got cosmos in here, which I obviously don't want to get rid of. We've also got clover, which I think I probably put in as a cover crop, although I don't recall it, but I do feel like I mixed a load of seeds together and that was probably in it. I do have some for cover crops. So that can stay in, I think. Obviously all this dandelion can go. And then down this end where the first early potatoes were, I have put in various brassicas. So we've got kale, which is looking lovely, a Brussels sprout, which has no signs of Brussels on it and is about 1/4 of the size of anyone's else's on the plot. This one I'm particularly excited about because I think it's a Cailette, and then some more of the Cavolo Nero, and then around the other side is the Austerian tree cabbage, which is looking lovely. So there are 3 in a row, which is probably too close together, but this one is a bit tiny. We maybe eventually move that one. But that is the state of that bed. So I think first things first is probably to remove the cages. So remove this cage and start weeding the middle. Or should I do the potatoes first? No, the potatoes are that side, aren't they? Slightly losing it. Right, come on. Still got, I don't know what the time is, so I don't know how long I've had on my power hour and how long I've got left. But the sun is still up. It's not got dark yet. So we're going to carry on. So we'll do this job and then we'll harvest some stuff for dinner. And then we'll call that a day. Okay. Right. Gloves. Lost my gloves again. Right, let's see what we've got potato wise. This one came to the surface the other day, which is huge, absolutely riddled, and I don't think there's even any point trying to save any bits off that. That's also quite holy. Yeah. Oh, it's such a shame when they're a good size though. That one might be alright. I'll tell you what, we'll put them all in the basket and we'll assess the damage when we get home. Again, this isn't perfect. Great place to sit there, Dory. I'm sure I've missed some of the potatoes, just as I've probably missed some of the blighted fruits over there. But my new motto is don't let perfection be the enemy of good. Is that how the saying goes? And yeah. Oh, another potato, Dory. Did you nab that one? Well, this is what we've got. This is what we've got. Yeah. I mean, there's some really big ones. Look at the size of that. But it's just absolutely riddled. Some of them had whole habitats of creatures growing in them. So I'll take them home and I'll clean them up, but yeah, I'm not sure there's going to be much potato off of those. But it does give me an opportunity now to do my comparisons. So in terms of no-dig versus dug potatoes, if both of the first earlies would have been had loads of insect damage, I would have said it was because of that. You know, whichever way round it was the variable was the dig or the no dig. But one of the dug was fine and one of the no dig was fine. So I definitely think it's more about the variety of the potato, and I can recommend then Charlotte as second early and Red Duke of York as first early. And they were on opposite sides of the bed as well, so it wasn't about it being on one side or the other. And then I can recommend, oh, I just did the recommend, didn't I? Yeah, I know, I'm losing it, Dory. In terms of not recommending, Saxon then as a second early. What was my other first early? Oh, Maris Spard. So do not recommend those ones for slug damage or whatever damage. They don't look blighted though. I don't think that's blight damage, it just is insect damage. Oh, Dory. What a pain you are. Is that dock? It looks like horseradish. Why is horseradish growing in here? Let's see if it is. Oh, oh. I don't know if that's horseradish root. Oh, let's sniff it. That would be a way of telling, wouldn't it? I don't know. It doesn't smell much of anything. Oh, maybe it's just dock. I just realised I haven't done these tomatoes. The ones in the drawers. Oh well, that wasn't on my power hour list, was it? I was just doing those 2 beds. And yeah, not brilliant, but that's certainly an indent into what is quite a large job to be done. But I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased something got done. So to finish up, let's just go harvest a few bits for dinner tonight.